For more on O'Sullivan's testimony, we're joined by security strategist Andy Mashaile and political analyst Dr Levy Ndou. You can also join the conversation by giving us a call on 010-594-6010 or send us a WhatsApp on 072 11 05584. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time tonight. Perhaps, Dr. Ndou, let me start this conversation with you and ask whether, do you get a sense from the evidence that was given by Paul O'Sullivan that this inquisitory body is actually getting the answers that it needs for its work?
Good evening, Malungelo Boy. Good evening, Mr. Mashaile. Good evening to the viewers at home. Thank you for having me. It will be difficult to tell if the committee is getting the answers that they need, and also if indeed the witness is answering as expected or giving answers that we would love to hear. It is also because we do not have a memo of what the witness is supposed to be saying. But what appears to be very clear is that the witness appears to be very much prepared to meet with the committee, and there are certain areas that the witness appears not to want to venture into, maybe for the purposes of avoiding a situation where the witness could be implicated. But what also appears to be the situation is that those that are asking questions, to a certain extent, appears to be doing their best in trying to dig to get the answers from the witness, which does not appear to be the case. Yeah. But at the end of it all, what all of us would love to see happening is a situation where witnesses are able to provide answers in a satisfactory manner, but also being given the comfort of being able to provide answers and the evidence in a manner that does not create any form of biases. Yeah. And a witness, in my view, is someone that is brought there in order to assist the committee in getting the information. The witness is not someone who is guilty. The witness is someone that must provide everything that is supposed to assist the commission. And where you have a situation in which someone would appear to be evasive, and also have a situation in which some people that are asking questions would appear to be seen to be wanting to trick or put the witness in a difficult situation. We have a situation where we might not be able to get what we want because of the level of discomfort that the witness could be facing.
Andy, I mean, how important is it for MPs to get responses to each and every question that they're asking this man? Because one would assume there is a reason why that question is being posed. In fact, at some point today, Paul O'Sullivan said to Julius Malema when he was being asked a question that it's none of your business.
Malungelo, good evening to you, my brother and my friend, Dr. Ndou. It is very important that those who are responding to the accusations as put forward by Ndate and Tantam Kwanazi, their response should be simple, plain to the fact, so that the members of this committee, the ad hoc committee, on behalf of the Parliament of South Africa, must be able to dismantle the system or structure that led us to be in this quagmire that we are sinking from. It is also critical that in the responses by the respondents, what we call witnesses, we find lack of arrogance, and we find a situation where these respondents don't want to control the narrative, but actually respond to the best of their ability what they know about the accusations put forward by General Ntantam Kwanazi and all those who came after General Ntantam Kwanazi and corroborated his allegations. And the statement that it's none of your business is an unfortunate statement that's loaded with arrogance and some airs of an individual about himself. That should really be discouraged, because you want to find out exactly what happened and whether, for being in possession of the information that you have, you had the necessary clearance or qualifications to have assumed the roles and positions that you claimed to possess throughout life, your life leading up to you being seated in front of that ad hoc committee.
All right, Andy Mashaile and Dr. Levy Ndou, please stay where you are. We're going to take a quick commercial break and we're back after this. Okay, welcome back. And we continue our conversation looking at the testimony by Paul O'Sullivan at the ad hoc committee that's looking into the infiltration of criminality in the police service and also in the criminal justice system. Joining us is Andy Mashaile. He's a security strategist and political analyst. Dr. Levy Ndou. Gentlemen, thanks again for your time. Dr. Ndou, I want to bring you in now. It is quite apparent that there was a lot of combativeness in both sides, right? From MPs as well as from Paul O'Sullivan himself when he refused to answer some of the questions that were posed to him. And this is something you've also touched on your earlier response. But what does this tell us then about this particular sitting?
It tells us a lot. Firstly, I think it will be informed by what has happened in the past, that and also influenced by a number of factors. That in most headlines you'd hear words like the witness is being grilled, the witness has been put into the corner, and I think it will create a situation where some witnesses, when they go, they would also go on a defensive side. And I think what is important to note is that when you sit in an ad hoc committee like this one, you sit there as an innocent person, you are not in court, you are actually only there to provide the necessary information that is required that has a potential to assist the country in moving forward.
Yeah.
Serious allegations have been made, and for the ad hoc committee to come out with the findings that will inform the recommendations, they actually require as much information that is credible as possible so that they're able to compile a report that will help all of us.
Yeah.
But I think also equally, you also need a sense of calmness and persuasion on the part of the members of the ad hoc committee to ensure that they deal with this kind of a situation in a manner that it does not end up diverting from its actual purpose.
Yeah.
Because when witnesses, and I would love to emphasize this one, when witnesses find themselves in a discomfort, in a situation where they feel that maybe they want to be tricked or they want to be put in a situation where they could be in trouble, that's why they end up becoming defensive.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to note that the chairperson of the ad hoc committee appears to be the one who is ensuring that things run as smooth as possible, because all that is required is to get all the necessary information that must assist the ad hoc committee. But at the end of the day, this is a serious learning curve that even those who are still supposed to come to the ad hoc committee should go there knowing that their main purpose is to assist the commission, the ad hoc committee to move forward, and indeed, at the end of the day, to assist all of us as the citizens of this country.
Mr. Mashaile, he was asked if he is a foreign agent, and he said he's not. And I don't think there's anyone who can say they are foreign agents.
Malu, I agree with you. There's no one who will say, I work for the CIA or MI5 or the NSA or the NIA or the SSA.
Yeah.
No one in that circle will agree. And that will leave you with a sense of angst with regards to your questioning and the expected response.
Yeah.
He will continue until there is proof by the members of the ad hoc committee that, Ndou, you have been working for the British military intelligence, and therefore you're coming here was not to live in South Africa peacefully with the rest of the people, but you are sent here to gather intelligence that might be used against the South African state, which in my line of work would be a threat to national security, Malu.
Yeah.
And I think the questions that are being posed addresses, even though not so wise, addresses the question of national security. I think the question that you asked Ntatendo, and he responded lovingly so. You see a pack of lions looking at the prey, and he also picks up the energy in the room.
Yeah.
That I used to be the hunter, now I am the hunted. And the best way for me is to give short-lived answers that do not implicate me. I have not worked for any foreign intelligence. That is a very comfortable response, and you can't press him further.
Dr. Ndou, Paul O'Sullivan did not hold back, right? He, in fact, accused MPs from Action SA, EFF, and MK Party of protecting criminals and also siding with criminals and saying that they have been also in favor and in support of Ntlahla Mkhwanazi.
That is something quite interesting to come out from the members of the ad hoc committee. And I think exactly what Mr. Mashaile has indicated, that he appears to be very much ready for the ad hoc committee, and he knows when they are pressing hard, and he has got his own way of being able to be evasive and avoid this kind of questioning. But what also therefore appears to be very clear is that he is one witness who appears to be having a lot of information on what has been happening in the top echelon of the South African Police Service, and indeed in the criminal justice system of this country. And that is why he is also able to pick up big names of people that were occupying senior positions, the contacts that he had with them, and the number of discussions that he would have with them. What we're not very sure of is as to whether part of what he has been saying is influenced by avoiding to implicate himself, or is also not saying some of the things because he still would love to protect certain individuals. But you therefore require a good strategy of continuously probing him until you are able to get to the facts of what you actually want to get from him. It might not be an easy exercise, because when you look at his involvement in the criminal justice system of the country, it's someone that appears to be having a very good experience. He knows what to say that will implicate him, and that which will not implicate him. So you are actually not dealing with an ordinary individual here. You're dealing with someone who is well prepared, and indeed, he has got very good ways of providing answers that will put him not in a corner, but in a safe space.
MPs, though, Mr. Mashaile, took issue with him because it's easy for him, that's what they're saying, he finds it easy to label people criminals and not provide a shred of evidence. He was challenged on that, and he could not back it up.
Malu, quite correct. It tells you what Ntatendo and I are raising in this discussion between the three of us and the viewer for. He's a well-trained intelligence person, or a person who worked for the British military intelligence. The response that he shows you is what you and I and Ntatendo should learn as a good propagandist, a person who will throw a shred of nothing or a little bone amongst the dogs, and the dogs will fight each other for that bone. So long story short, in what he is saying, comes to saying, I will say this, I will throw this bone amongst them, and they will fall for the trap. And the trap is to say, all of you are criminals. And that response is designed to either shut people up, shut people up, or get people to ask you to prove. And you then be saying to them, I don't have proof for now, but it will come later. Like when he said Pashani is a criminal. And we know you can't say someone is a criminal when he's not convicted in a court of law. You can't even say someone has committed crime. You will say this person is a suspect. And he's been using this term loosely. And he has told us why he's been using it.
Yeah.
Because he has never received a letter from the lawyers of Mr. Pashani.
Sure.
So that made him feel easy. Simply put, he has shut General Pashani by referring to him as a criminal. And General Pashani not responding gave him the solace that he's on top of things.
Yeah.
He can call everyone else a criminal. But when he's told, challenge that he's a criminal because there are people who say he's committed crime, he keeps quiet, meaning that element of propaganda, when used against you, when it's used in a counter propaganda strategy or as a tactic, it locks you to an extent that you want to withdraw, but you don't want to do it openly, and therefore you keep quiet.
All right, gentlemen, thank you so much for your time tonight. Andy Mashaile is a security strategist, and Dr. Levy Ndou is a political analyst. Thank you once again for joining us tonight. More news after the break. Stay with us.